Hello, it's Ddraig here again, and we're going to go through the campaign mechanics of Return of the Lichemaster. This is turn 1, and just before you do get to the screen, you do have a battle with the Dwarfs, and you can control Kenwa. You also get Krell, automatic summon. I'll combat that in a bit. And you get to see some of the 80 units, and you have a bit of a fight. It's not a complicated battle, but it's quite a satisfying one, just to get the idea of how your campaign's going to go, how they work in the battle themselves. So let's go from that point and we'll go into the actual campaign itself. So here's Kenwa, and this is your default army at the start. Nothing special about it. You get a couple of nice units. The Battle Guardians are very nice units, and you get some shield breakers. And what we can do from here is have a look at Kenwa's skill tree. So there's a skill tree, and most of it is your standard things. You got your campaign mechanics right at the bottom. So, and that's how you get your Shadow Druids, and so if you want to get those, quite handy in towards the 8 game, I would say. And you've also got the standard buffs to your units. Then you got your Vampiric Mage tree, coming up with a great You're the Lichemaster ability right at the end. I won't bother going through some of these abilities. Most of it's your standard stuff. This level, this is quite interesting. This allows you different abilities on the battlefield, and Lichematic power +1 per turn. I'll come back to Lichematic power in a minute. So let's quickly go through all these. I'll just quickly hover over them. You can pause if you want to read them a bit more. Platonia units. You fight your Platonia at the start. Not a bad deal of things to go straight into. And Wood Elves, some resistance against Wood Elves is always handy, as we're all aware. And you've got Severance right at the end. And fully cooked. Then you got some quests at the top here. We get different weapons and armour and a staff. You put them on the mount if you want to. Yeah, we're at rank 12. Got Master of Dead and various other abilities. And that is yours for that. So I just thought I'd just quickly show you some of the abilities he has. And let's go through the details, and you can see he has the Wonder ability as well. Giving you some extra buffs there. And rather instead, let's take out of that, and we'll go back to the main screen. So, Lichematic power. On the top here, got a couple of icons, and this is the Lichematic power icon. So you start off with 25 Lichematic power. So the obvious question is, what is it? Well, this will build as the game goes on. You get it by winning battles and coming from buildings and your characters. As you noticed in the character tree for Kenwa, you had the ability to get +1 every turn. So the screen breaks it all down, telling you how you're getting your Lichematic power. And we'll come back to Lichematic power later on, where we'll skip ahead a few turns and you can see how it's developing on my campaign. So, one of the key things about the Kenwa campaign is that it is a Horde faction. So, being a Horde faction, you got a complete building browser for Kenwa. And as you can see, you don't have to level the Horde encampment. It's always at 1, and you just build whatever you need at a time. And it's a standard excuse me, Horde mechanic. So you get your growth up, put it into one tree, and then everyone else gets added one, and etc. down the line. It's exactly the same as the Beastmen, is the same principle as is the Chaos. So let's quickly go through this tree. So the left is all military recruitment. I won't bother going for these units because I've already covered all of them before. Then we're going to quickly show you what some of these do. Nice bit of Lichematic power +1 there on that top tree. Just so you're aware, Zombie Dragon needs that to be unlocked, and Monster Engine needs this to be unlocked. So we move on. Let's quickly go up this tree. That's all about Vampire Corruption and a bit of extra on Horde growth. As you all know, Horde growth is vital. It's a very well thought out tree. Let's go over this. because everyone has a possible nice. There's a bit of give and take, I would say. Like, that's a clear example. Yes, you get upkeep minus 10% for all units. But speaking of upkeep, that will go down as you get more necromantic power. But at the cost of minus 300 unit experience per turn, so you have to keep fighting. Let's keep going down here. Income from raising. You do a lot of raising and settling, and I'll come back to that in a bit. Binds 1 horde growth, but the attribute of stalk, very handy. This one does need chat about a bit more. All this is basically saying is, at the start of your battle, so any battle of Kenwa, say, you always get Krell at the start, so you get summoned right at the start. No matter what, it's just default, it just happens. You can't level up Krell, he's just there, he's pretty badass, and he is the monster that you saw in my other video about the roster. But you put some points into this tree, you actually get 2 more grooms at the start, or you get some skeleton units, armed, king waves, or hex waves. Now, even if your faction, your army, is at your maximum 20 squads, these still will appear on the battle, and the same with Krell. So you could possibly have 24 units on the battle right at the start. A very handy ability, and they get summoned pretty much near wherever Kenwa is, just so you're aware. Just also as you're aware, so you know, that through this campaign I've been playing with the Boys to Boys mod activated, and the units mod activated. That's why you see these horde units here. So that's why some of the stats may be slightly different to my roster. Well, my roster was all done based on vanilla stats, so that's just with this mod activated and nothing else. And let's quickly go down this arch tree. So this is removing your necromantic power, but giving you quite powerful abilities to compensate for that. So just quickly click on it, look at each one of them. You can pause the video if you want to read them a bit more carefully. And that's the last one. So this is your key horde mechanic all the way through. So let's go back to the main screen. And let's go back to him, and I'll just show you how. Now, Defy Ruins are a key part of this faction. So if you ever, at the start, as you can see, it's turn 1, this is already in ruins. So I can just quickly show you what happens. So you can either do nothing, or defy the barrels. And when you defy the barrels, you get 100% increase for all barrel units only. So not the undead ones, only the barrel units. Excuse me. And you also usually get to fight either an enemy necromancer, some Skaven, depends which one. I think it's pretty random. But the longer this is in a ruined state, so this is only turn 1, so it's not going to have many bonuses, the bonuses increase. And when they increase, you get a chance, let's do nothing there, to raise Legions of Undeath. So these are the Regiments of Renown, and as you can see, let's take some water. That you can get. This is where you unlock all these specialised units, like the massive spider, and it's quite random which ones you get. But like I said, the longer it is being defiled for, the better the bonuses, and possibly the harder the fight. So as you go around, make sure you create ruins as you go, and then try to keep the enemy away from colonising it, which they do very often. Trust me on this. So from there, you may be wondering how you get some extra armies. Now the maximum you can have is 4. And the reason for this is these 3 quests. So I'll just quickly scan up and down them like that. And you can pause to read them. So when you complete these, you will automatically unlock this legendary horde, and then you can raise that army. And I'll come back to that in a later part of my video. Another thing to realise, there's no tech tree, so that the button's not even there. And just make sure you turn the notification off, research available, so you don't get hassled about that message. Right, let's go over to my campaign, which is going on a bit later, and we can see how I'm progressing. Okay, we're a bit further into the campaign now. We're at turn 32, and what I thought, just show you how far we're getting, and pretty much a confession, I have screwed up, and I have got a bit bold, and yeah, this is what not to do. So I'll explain why in a minute. But I thought I would just show you. So how my necromantic power? So my necromantic power is at maximum 100 now. Now, because I've been fighting quite a lot, I might actually just quickly skip ahead and just auto resolve because I know I've screwed up because I've got to this point before, and yeah, there's a really big battle coming up and I cannot win it. Anyway, we'll leave that for a second. So I have stored 3 Cognive because of my necromancer being so high, and this unlocks quite a lot of things. And as you can see there, this is why you keep your necromantic power really high. So I got high chance of magical drop, leadership upkeep is dropped significantly, so my units are really cheap, and you can see everything from there what you get. And this is the right at the bottom. Oh, I can't be moving mouse down, but as you can see, Yanmarks can now be occupied. Now before, as you saw in my previous section, at that 25 I didn't have that possibility, but I can now occupy any of these things and set up a settlement, and this is exactly why I am here. When it's at this high, one of the quests is, I believe, that one. Yep, it's high or more, occupy Blackstone Post. So I thought I'll come back here and occupy this and get some good, get me a base to go and get rid of this Batonia scum, to be perfectly honest. They've fallen on my side for the entire campaign. As you can see, I've also unlocked the Drayscan, we'll go with Drayscan, High King, and let's have a quick look at his tree while we think about it. This is more some strengths on some buffs, sorry, for his army. And of course, he's quite a good combatant, as you can see there. Just to remind you, I am on the Boys to Boys mod, so some of these stats will differ to my roster. And you got Trial of Blood, Tomb Strike. You got basically, he is a combat monster. Possibly not as good. He's not as good as Krell, but he is really hard hitting. And I've also buffed up his Undying Horde. Now that reminds me, I didn't show you something else, so I'll just do that now. I remember. They have a different type of stance, and that's called the Dark Walk. And this allows you constant cat reparation rate of plus 20%, which is the key thing. But it does make you very vulnerable being trapped. So if you're near any enemies, they will more than likely have at you, to be perfectly honest. And so you got to be very careful in using it. But it gives you a very good instant replenishment. So if you move, you can just switch to that stance. But if you move, you may get caught. So we'll just thought I'll say that. Right, so we're now coming with that. And right, so let's just say, let's go to end my turn, because I know what's going to happen now. Apparently the dwarves down here don't like me trying to take this post. So I got a bit ahead of myself, and I thought, you know what, I can take this back. Can't be that much of a problem. And then they came across, and the dwarves were very angry about it. As the campaign went on, hopefully they'll attack again. If they don't, then I might have to restart this video. Oh, what's this? They've only been trying to get peace with me for a while because I have been a menace to them. Because, you know, who cares about Batonia? And so I went up. I'll just quickly show you what's panning through. I went up here, went to the coast. I was going to try to take Cologne because to occupy that, but the battle here we don't know. That's just typical. Yes, I could try fighting this. I'm going to do auto resolve to see what happens. I won, but at considerable cost. I have done that battle manually. I did okay, but now this is where it screws me over. One, I didn't expect them to fight, and this is what screws me over. The dwarves come over and absolutely come over and just annihilate me. So we'll skip that, and they are end of game. So as you can see, let's pause it there for a second. And you can see what happened as I went through the campaign. So there I am, starting off there. That's turn 1. So as we go forward, I recruited some more units. I started progressing. Let's speed this a little bit. Up to the north, because they kept trying to recapture this point, so I defied it a couple of times, raised it, and then I continued forward up into the coastal area where Batonia is. And I believe I came back, and there's me taking some of these away. And there I did. Took that coastal. I stayed there for quite a bit because they kept attacking me constantly. It was very irritating. And I managed to, and I thought, you know what, let's creep back, slowly creep back, and come back and try to get to where I was just now. And that's what happened, really. It's not an easy campaign, this. I'm playing it on hard campaign and hard battles. So just be aware, it's not an easy one, and because I've got the Boys to Boys mod, might make the battles a bit harder. It's a very enjoyable campaign, I really enjoy doing it, and I'm bound to start another one at some point. But there you go. I just thought I would do this campaign overview and show you some of the features of it. And I hope you enjoyed it, and if you liked it, hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more, and I'll see you in my next video. Thanks for watching.